The MMA community criticized Alex Pereira for partying with rapper Drake before his fight against Magomed Ankalaev. Daniel Cormier and others questioned his focus. Noting that he was still in Australia just 2 weeks before the fight, Koya stressed that Pereira should be fully committed to his preparation for Ankalaev.
But Chael, we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, and now my concern level is even higher. This dude was seen in Australia last week, still, and he was shaking the hand of Drake as Drake went on stage.
I just had this argument with Daniel Cormier, Alex Pereira, to stick around, stay in Australia, walk onto the stage with Drake for a performance that he was having. And it's a problem where you are buckled down. No matter how you feel right now, no matter how you feel when you accept that invite to Drake, no matter any of those things, there will be a moment just before you make that walk and you will ask yourself, do I deserve to win? Have I done everything possible to make sure I do win? And if that answer is not yes, you will know it in that moment. And it will bite you in that moment.
We spoke about this 2 weeks ago, and now my concern level is even higher. This dude was seen in Australia last week, still, and he was shaking the hand of Drake as Drake went on stage in Wisconsin. One, Drake constantly loses millions of dollars betting on people, so you kind of don't want Drake to bet on you because he doesn't have the greatest track record for winning. But what is Pereira still doing in Australia, Chael? He fights in 2 weeks. Then why has nobody done this to him in MMA? He doesn't know.
Put him on Ankalaev. Yes, put him against Ankalaev.
You think Ankalaev take him down?
Of course, easy.
Jan Blachowicz took him. Jan Blachowicz is a wrestler.
Okay,
Jan Blachowicz is a wrestler.
Okay, Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, what happened? How many times Ankalaev take him down, hold him, 3 rounds there?
Alex Pereira has been unstoppable in 2024. But at UFC 3113 on March 8th at T-Mobile Arena, he faces his toughest test yet against Magomed Ankalaev. The reigning light heavyweight champion will have to overcome Ankalaev's dominant grappling and relentless ground and pound unbeaten since 2018. Ankalaev has secured wins by KO/TKO and decision, with a recent Red Corner MMA post showcasing his devastating ground game from before his UFC days. While Pereira's striking is world-class, Ankalaev's ability to control and punish opponents on the ground could be the key to dethroning the champion in this high-stakes clash.
Back up his words with action. People already know how I humiliate my opponents. Sometimes I joke around and all, but this time, I'm really going to mess with this guy to the fullest. Let's see if his words mean anything.
Alex Pereira's power is undeniable, but can he handle Magomed Ankalaev's relentless pressure and grappling? If the Russian takes him to the ground, will Pereira be shut down? Or will he once again prove why he's one of the most feared strikers in MMA? UFC 313 could be a career-defining moment for both fighters. Despite Pereira's dominance, he has yet to face an opponent fully committed to testing his takedown defense and grappling, a strategy that could be Ankalaev's key to victory. The MMA community is buzzing with speculation, with many fans leaning toward Ankalaev. In this high-stakes showdown as the fight approaches, all eyes are on whether Pereira can conquer his toughest stylistic challenge yet.
We'd be worried about Alex Pereira after he got taken down by a bantamweight. Granted, he did get him with a guillotine, but still worried for that Magomed fight. Click below to see Jake Paul expose Mike Tyson for having Parkinson's.
The UFC decides to go down that path. How do you see that fight going to Alex Pereira?
You know, I could have come out here today and wrestled against Johnny Walker. Could have taken him down right away and won with my ground and pound on the ground. But instead, I wanted to send a message. I wanted to stand up and I wanted to knock him out. And that's what I did. Now, for Glover Teixeira, I have a message. Don't waste your time trying to teach your student how to wrestle and grapple. He's not going to need it. I'm going to come out there. I'm going to stand across from him. And I know that he's been knocked out before as a middleweight. So imagine what's going to happen if I meet him in light heavyweight. Trust me, he's not going to feel comfortable there.
Eu faria essa luta, mas aí agora eu sou da organização mesmo, concordar com que poder acontecer. There is a leader, there is a potential, even John Jones to express himself. And we wanted to do this, we won, now we got his up to the UFC to make it happen.
Defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall is, I don't want to say nobody. He just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me. If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster, that it would be Alex Pereira. And I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gonna...
How are you? Good, man. Nice to meet you too. Good, dude. Oh, yeah, it's hard. I would hope so. I would hope so. All the best. All the best. Sure. Let's get it.
Muitos anos de vida, caminheiro. You got what you do. We didn't for the story. Alex, muitos anos de vida.
He's the former 205-pound champion. They found a way to each other.
Well, we talk about Jan Blachowicz, former champion. He's a strong guy. He's a complete fighter.
That message to UFC, I want Pereira because I want something new. I want something different.
Jan Blachowicz is a very good grappler too. So, I mean, he dominated Izzy on the ground.
And Jan, you know what too? Jan is very good at game planning.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
He's also got tremendous power.
As if Pereira hadn't already eaten Adesanya's lunch, his first move up to the UFC light heavyweight division would be against Jan Blachowicz, the man Izzy lost to when attempting to become double champion. And the stakes were even higher than that because the UFC made it very clear that if Pereira won, he would be up next to challenge for the UFC.
He's supposed to be fighting Ankalaev. Ankalaev is very dangerous. And I think he's the #1 contender. And he's been on a winning streak for a long time. He's only got one draw. But this fucking knockout is so wild. And then he gets on the top of the ropes and screams like a monster. Listen to the sounds he makes when he screams. Watch it.
Beat someone like Pereira is going to be a wrestler. Someone's going to be able to take him down, put him in the fence, smash him. If you're going to stand up and strike with Pereira, it's going to be a long night for you or a short night.
Do with that, you go to sleep.
He goes to sleep. Everybody goes to sleep.
Yuri's in there dancing, and Yuri's like doing all kind of like weird stuff, right? And Alexa's like,
just stone
face. Like, yeah. It
was one of the greatest stare downs ever.
I'm going to kill you, is what he's thinking. Like, this dance your weird ass.
He's one of the biggest pay-per-view stars in the country, in the world. Most people don't even understand what he's saying.
And he's a star, right?
He's a huge star.
All he has to do is make facial expressions.
Yeah, but it's scary. Yeah. When he comes out with the bow and arrow, boom, 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 boom. Ah! If you're sitting there watching that guy walk to the cage, you're like, oh, shit.
They were in the crowd. They went toe-to-toe. And as I said right now, he's just signed his death warrant. Of course, I'm talking about the announcement that was made on Saturday night. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Of course, Alex Pereira took to Twitter, "See you soon, Ankalaev." And Ankalaev responded. He said, "You just signed your death certificate. I'm going to punish you for ducking me and making you look like a guy that works in a tire shop, not a professional fighter." Of course, that's a throwback.
You know how hard that is to do? Yeah. He kicked a soccer ball and then shot it with an arrow.
Oh, he really shoots arrows?
Yes.
I thought he was just...
No, he's really good.
That guy's right out of the Amazon.
Give me some volume on this, because when he screams, imagine being the neighbor and hearing this. Here, he hits it. Imagine being the neighbor.
Calling 911 right away.
And then you watch him on pay-per-view and like, oh, Jesus Christ, you can't even complain. That's why it's so interesting that a guy like Pereira gets as high as he gets with none of that. You just need to people up. You don't even need to speak English.
And stuff. Yeah, he can do that. He comes from Dagestan. He's got all of those accolades, but that's not what he does. He likes to knock people out. But when you compare the two, when you compare Pereira's record of knocking people out, whether it's in kickboxing or in mixed martial arts, it does not stand up to Magomed Ankalaev's.
So sneaky with that kick.
And if you get too close, he's going to punch you.
Yeah. Well, he's so long, and he's also so odd in his striking.
His movements. He's like this tall. Yeah. He's tall.
They're very odd.
And he's like, and if you get close, it's the right hand. Even that thing he does, when he's walking out, and he does this will thing, and he throws his combination, it doesn't look fluid. He's like, boom, boom, boom.
But you know, like if Kutalaba twice on the bounce and knocked out Dolce Lungiambola, right? The man has got insane power. He's big, he's strong, he's angry. He feels that he's been overlooked in this division, and that's going to make him extremely dangerous, okay? So Magomed Ankalaev, Alex Pereira, finally going down. UFC 313, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. And apparently, Alex Pereira...
Like Pereira is going to be a wrestler. Someone's going to be able to take him down, put him in the fence, smash him. If you're going to stand up and strike with Pereira, this could be a long night for you or a short night, one or the other. That guy's a monster, just his distance and the way he reacts on punches. I like the way when someone punches him, it's literally like moves and punches back. Moves, punches back. Everything is a reaction, all punches that strikes like he does. Guy's vicious and he punches hard.
Took over the sport, okay? The man's just that good. His striking is phenomenal and he is evolving all the time. Now, Magomed Ankalaev said all along he's not going to wrestle him, and he's not an Islam, he's not a Habib, but he does come from Dagestan and we have seen him wrestle before. And if it comes down to it, he probably will use it again. When you're in a fight situation, sometimes if you're taking shots and you're about to get knocked out and your head's beating all over the place, it's fight over.
But were you surprised when the UFC offered you Roundtree as opposed to Magomed Ankalaev?
Honestly, yes. I was surprised and understood why the organization did not went with Ankalaev, but they did. It's not my fault. Ankalaev has such a boring style of fighting that nobody will watch. That the guy don't want to put him in. You know what I mean? I'm ready to fight the guy. He's ready to fight me. So whenever they put that fight, people talk about my ground. So there's a good chance for me to go and show everybody.
Alex, stop running away for me.
Will we ever see John Jones versus Alex Pereira?
Guys, let me explain something to you. John Jones, the greatest combat fighter of all time. When you talk about the Alis and the this and that.
Oh, and that? Wow.
And let me tell you what, I got Ali's picture hung everywhere. I love Muhammad Ali. John Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. You know what tonight told me? There's no fucking way I make the Pereira fight. Okay. John's too big, great wrestler. See how he took Stipe down in that first round? I like Alex Pereira. It just doesn't make sense to make that fight. If they both want it bad enough and they're both fucking hounding me or something, maybe I would do it. It's just, Alex Pereira is killing it. What's the reason to go up and fight a guy that's so much bigger than you and such a good wrestler? Money? That's definitely a reason. But just so we're clear, I don't want to make any of that kind of money. I want Pereira to stay where he is and do what he does and run the street. But again, if they go crazy on me and they want to do it, then what am I going to do? They're grown-ass men, and I'm sure the fans want to see it. I'm sure you want to see it. I guess we'll talk about
Aspinall. When he says that, do you think it's because he thinks that you are a more winnable fight than Aspinall? Why do you think he says this?
Ele fala que ele quer lutar com você primeiro do que lutar com o Aspinall. Você acha que ele fala isso porque ele acha que é mais fácil ganhar de você do que do Aspinall? Por que você acha que ele fala isso?
Não, acho que ele explicou, pelo que eu entendi também, tipo, tudo é um risco, né? Ele sabe que tem um risco ali. Por exemplo, o Aspinall tem a história dele, até, mas acho que eu venho fazendo uma história maior e, tipo, ele pensa assim, se eu ganho do Alex, pô, aí eu vou, pô, não tem que provar, já não tem que provar nada pra ninguém, né? Mas, pô, vai ser algo maior, entendeu? Do que lutar com o Aspinall. Eu acho que foi isso que ele falou, que eu entendi.
I think because, you know what I mean, it's about the momentum and also the risk. Because the risk fighting Aspinall was going to win from there. It's another, like he says, another title fight, right? But fighting Alex is a much bigger achievement. So I think it's the weight of the...
I'm really worried about a Pereira fight. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and I think if the UFC wants to have me back, then I think that's the fight they'll make. I've been really clear about my intentions. That's what I want, and I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, you know, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, you know? And I'm not talking to Dana directly, I feel like I'm at a place now where, you know, like, I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions.
Injuries hurt, and I trained really hard where I was like overconfident. I thought I was going to beat the shit out of that kid. I really thought I was.
Is that the loss that hurts the most?
No, that's not the one that hurt the most. John Jones turned out to be like one of the best fighters in the world. Right. You know? He got me with one of my most weakness, the rear naked choke. That's not the one that hurt me the most. My last fight's the one that hurt me the most.
those challenging guys to deal with. And I think that, he's talking about retiring, but will he, if the Aspinall thing is really flying out there? I personally think John challenges himself and takes the fight.
I'd heard a rumor that John Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. And I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. Dana contacted me and said that rumor's bullshit. Apparently, John is thinking about retiring. And he should. He's going to have to someday. And he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's John Jones. He's the GOAT. So leave him alone. If he decides one day to come back and he wants to fight Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title, the question is, how long are you allowed to hold on to the title before they start having that conversation? Now, he just knocked out Stipe Miocic, so give the man months. Give the man 5 or 6 months. Just leave him the fuck alone. But at a certain point in time, you have to decide who the heavyweight champion is. And if Tom is the interim heavyweight champion and John decides he doesn't want to fight anymore, he could do that and then come back in a year and fight for the title. He can do whatever he wants, but he might decide
he wants to fight John Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat John Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it. Don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is he?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. We make this John Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight, if he can win, he can beat John Jones. It's life.
John's gonna come back. He's gonna take the hardest fight of his career, who they say is the greatest heavyweight we've ever had. Ends up getting hurt, can't do the fight. Insert a gentleman, Sergey Pavlich. You then told John Jones that he would not fight Sergey Pavlich. In Sergey's very next fight, he went down to a British gentleman called Tom Aspinall. I mean, as sure as night follows day, Tom Aspinall is the guy. And John's looking around and going, hey, one thing at a time, and I got this thing. And while you guys are trying to pull me over the Alex Pereira direction and you're pulling him in the Tom direction, I can't let you succeed. After John fights Stipe, guys, he fights Tom Aspinall. Well, what if Stipe beats him? Go ahead and beat him. Stipe is sincerely retiring after this fight. So if Stipe beats John and we now have a vacated title, it's John versus Tom. If John gets over on Stipe, Tom, who's going to be sitting right there in the front row with his nice, beautiful, shiny belt, and John standing there talking to Joe Rogan with his nice, shiny belt, the fight will be made right there.